I'm Miley Cyrus from the Hannah Montana 20th Anniversary Special.
Miley Cyrus spent years running away from Hannah Montana, and honestly, nobody could blame her. But something has shifted. Something has changed in the way she talks about that chapter of her life, and what she's saying now is not what anyone expected. Let's get into it. For those who need the backstory, Hannah Montana premiered on Disney Channel in 2006. Miley Cyrus was 13 years old. She played Miley Stewart, a regular girl living a double life as a massive pop star named Hannah Montana. The show was a cultural phenomenon. Kids were obsessed. Parents were obsessed. The merchandise alone was worth billions. Hannah Montana was everywhere. And right at the center of all of it was a teenage girl who was figuring out who she was in front of the entire world. For years after the show ended, Miley was very clear about how she felt. She needed distance. She needed to separate herself from the character that the world had glued to her identity. Everything she did post Hannah Montana, the image changes, the music shifts, the headline-grabbing moments, a lot of that was Miley screaming one thing loud and clear. I am not Hannah Montana. I am my own person. Let me breathe. And the world made that incredibly hard for her. Every time she did something unexpected, people compared her to the sweet, bubbly character she played as a kid. Every reinvention got filtered through the lens of Hannah. It followed her everywhere. And for a long time, Miley seemed almost allergic to the mention of it. But here's where the story gets interesting. Miley Cyrus has recently opened up about having what she describes as a new perspective on Hannah Montana. And it's not bitterness, it's not resentment, it's something far more mature, and honestly, far more surprising. She started to look back at that era with a sense of appreciation, an understanding of what it gave her that she simply couldn't see when she was in the middle of it. When you're a teenager being watched by millions of people, carrying the weight of a franchise on your shoulders, and simultaneously trying to figure out who you actually are, you don't have the luxury of gratitude. Survival mode doesn't leave room for reflection. But time does something powerful. It creates distance, and distance creates clarity. Miley has talked about the fact that Hannah Montana gave her a platform that most people spend their entire careers chasing and never find. It gave her access, experience, and an audience before she was even old enough to drive. And as painful as some of that pressure was, she's beginning to acknowledge that it also shaped her in ways she's now grateful for. There's also something deeply human about this shift. Miley Cyrus is in her 30s now. She's won a Grammy. She's put out music that has connected with people on a completely different level than anything she did as a kid. She's proven, without any question, that she is an artist in her own right. And maybe, only when you've fully established who you are, can you finally look back at where you started without feeling threatened by it. That's the thing nobody talks about when it comes to child stars. The identity crisis isn't just about fame. It's about the fact that millions of people decide who you are before you get the chance to figure it out yourself. And then you spend the next decade fighting to reclaim something that was always yours, your own story. Miley fought that battle loudly and publicly, and she won. Because here she is, on the other side of it, with the confidence to look back and say, yeah, that was part of me. It wasn't all of me, but it was part of me, and that's okay. That shift from rejection to acceptance is honestly one of the most grown things any former child star has ever done, because it's easy to stay angry at something that put you in a box. It's much harder to look at that box and say, this also helped build me. Miley Cyrus is not Hannah Montana. She never was, not really. But Hannah Montana was a chapter in the Miley Cyrus story. And she's finally at peace with that. And if you ask most fans, that piece looks really, really good on her.
As a single mom, your support means everything to me. Please subscribe for more updates and stories like this. Thank you.